February 9th, 2026 to order. And the first order of business would be the invocation and the pledge.
Will you join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. And Lord, while we've enjoyed the snow and the cold weather, I think we can safely say we are ready for spring and warmer days ahead. And Father, as always, we just continue prayers for not just our local community, but our state and our country. And we ask you please continue to lift up those in need and those who may be ill. And Father, we just pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Mary, can you lead us in pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And everyone should receive a copy of last month's minutes, town council meeting January 12th. Comments, questions, corrections?
I move to approve the January 12th, 2026 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion is second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And Sharon Strand will move to your report, treasurer's report, please.
Another quiet month after the audit and before the budget season starts winding down, which means our work will be ramping up. So nothing really new on the financials. We did get an income tax payment that was higher than anticipated based on historical averages of what we received this time of year. It's a small payment, but we're still waiting on several large payments. And I'll keep you posted as they come in as to where we are throughout the year. Other than that, does anyone have any questions for me?
As long as there's no concerns, that's our main concern. So-
No concerns right now, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And Planning Department, Mike Bailey.
Members, Mayor, so the Town Planning Commission meeting will be held on February 17th. We have one item on the agenda, which is a 16-unit apartment building on the west side of Washington Street, where that G&H sign is placed right currently. So that it will be reviewed. They've received all their conceptual approvals from various county agencies and are ready to move forward for final design if approved by the Planning Commission.
Is that all in one building or is it multiple?
It's just one
One
building,
building.
yes.
16.
16 units, yes.
Any retail or just residential?
No, it's just residential.
How many stories?
3.
Three.
What's that zoning there?
Commercial business,
Like, yes,
multifamily.
doesn't have to be commercial business. Okay. Right, exactly. Town zoning for that area, for that actual zoning. Yeah, it doesn't have to be commercial.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from Mike? Okay.
Thank you.
Very much. And we got Deputy Richard Wilhelmy with us today. Everybody's got a copy of his report. We had 152 vehicle stops in town, and I know people out on Route 5 are kind of going crazy down there, but appreciate everything.
Yes, sir.
But I see you had 154 crime preventions. Thank you. So, no, that's very nice. Any problems yesterday after the Super Bowl that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Good.
I wasn't working last night, but I haven't heard anything of any issues.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay.
They never figured out who was going through those cars in Leonard's Grant, I guess.
No, they haven't.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you say going through cars, that people going in there looking for money and stuff like that?
Correct.
So just
Yeah.
remind everybody, keep your doors locked.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. All right. So then move on to Michelle, Town Administrator.
Okay, the first item on my agenda was case number 39-25, annexation petition for the Hall property. He has asked to delay that into the March meeting, so that'll be on the March agenda.
Okay.
And then next, we have our esteemed consultant that did the public art master plan. And he is going to give us the overview of the final plan, which was very happy to work with them. Did you want to say anything, or you're good? Okay. Todd Russi?
Okay, can you stand?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members, and staff and folks from Leonardtown. It's nice to be back here, though. I chatted with the mayor briefly. I said next time I'm not going to come back on Monday because all my favorite stores are closed. That was a little disappointing. But I'm really pleased to be here, and as always, I'm grateful that you've given me the opportunity to work with the town to develop a strategy for public art. And I'm here, my colleague Joe Davis, who I worked with, has joined me from her studio in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I'd like just to give you a brief overview of the plan. We were here a couple months ago and kind of laid it all out. So I'll review a little bit of that and talk to you a little bit about what we heard in the last round of public comment. And am able to answer any questions you may have. I'm going to have to peek at the screen and remind myself of what we put up there.
Yeah, I was going to see if I could turn.
So first, as you remember, I'm a public art consultant in Philadelphia. I've worked extensively in Maryland, but also throughout the country. And for me, it's a little bit of a passion project because I went to high school around here. My nieces went to high school in town, and after this is over, I'm going to dinner with my sister, so I never pass it up. So it's really nice to be here again. I'm stalling till we get this up here.
I'm trying to see if I can do a split screen where Jo is still seeing what she needs to see.
Can you just put the first slide up?
Yep, that guy.
Can you just make that slide on the right bigger? I can work with that. I mean, just click it forward.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get it so she can see it too.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
There we go.
All right.
All right. And we do have the
All right.
room there if you want to.
Okay. Now we're ready to go. So, I'd like to start simply by reviewing the 3 questions the public art plan answers, which is why is public art important to Leonardtown, which we'll talk about in a minute. What are your opportunities, and what do you need to do to take advantage of those opportunities? The bottom 4 questions are the ones that Michelle gave to me at the beginning of the project. Those are the questions the town wanted to answer when this project was launched. Where do I point?
Anywhere.
You just go forward.
Maybe.
There we go.
Oh.
We've been on a long journey since the summer, including a visit in May where we had a lot of workshops and participated in the art walk. But we're here at the last step today, the final plan. We actually had a public plan which we released in December and another version a couple of weeks ago. So in the past 6 weeks or so, we've been collecting comments from folks who've been involved in the process. There we go. We did a community survey with 100 responses, which is great for a town of this size. Just if you want to benchmark yourself, I did one of these for El Paso, Texas. 700,000 people, 200 responses. So there you go. There you go. Just scale that up. We had, as I mentioned, we were here in September. with focus groups, and we did many interviews, including Joe, my colleague, spent a lot of time getting to know the artists and creative businesses in town, what they did and how they might want to participate in this. Since we saw you last, we've circulated a public draft. These are the groups that we made sure got it, to make sure they could comment on it. And I think we did hear back from people in just about every group, comments back. And these are some of the main comments that we received, most of which have been addressed by making revisions in the plan. The first few are really just about the kind of spirit of the kind of public art people would like to see in Leonardtown, which I think the plan accommodates, and the last few are more technical, kind of process-oriented questions. So we got a lot of good comments, and I've worked with Michelle and Janine to process them and make sure they're either included in the plan or a part of just what could happen going forward, even if they're not. Whoops. So, in terms of the plan itself, the first question I said is, why is public art important to Leonardtown? And really it is, the reasons are because it really supports the trajectory Leonardtown's been on, emerging as a real destination for entertainment, arts, culture in Southern Maryland, the multi-county area. It's pretty much recognized as the place to go for these kind of things. And Southern Maryland doesn't have, Leonardtown is the only community in Southern Maryland that has an arts and entertainment district, and so it reinforces all the investments you've already made in that regard, including some of your physical strategies, like investments at the wharf and the investments you're talking about making along the Greenway and elsewhere in town. We found that being here, the arts in general make people who are coming here from other places in the country to work and live with their family feel really welcome and connected. So it's a good way to kind of bring in folks who are settling in this region into town. And the arts community, the artists in town particularly feel it's a good way to support their work, their businesses, some of the shops you have in town that are run by artists. So it all reinforces things that you already have in place. Through the surveys and through our conversations, we were able to discern a number of themes that would be important for public art to focus on, to make sure that any projects that occurred here were really consistent with the town's sense of itself and what it wanted to be. And we found that the town's this kind of tagline, we could amend it a little bit with the different themes that really reflect the different aspects of Leonardtown's character. So things that reflect friendliness, welcome, discovery, creativity, resourcefulness, nature, history. Those are the kinds of things that they ranked highly when we asked people what kinds of art they would like to see. The plan identifies two main opportunities for you, and it's not a plan that says you have to do this. It says here's a plan where you look for opportunities to move forward, and it lays out how you can do that. But one is, as the town continues, and as the private sector continues to make investments in facilities that are kind of outlined in your strategic plans, like the Greenway, like a convention hotel, like an amphitheater. Those are places to ask yourself, is this a good place for public art? Can this be part of this project? Can we fit it in to the design, into the budgeting? Those are your real opportunities. And the sooner you think about that as you're developing those projects, the better chance you have of actually creating a project. So that's one opportunity. Whoops. The second opportunity is more of placemaking. Those are the kinds of things the Arts and Entertainment District does now. The plan just sort of helps focus and prioritize those. It also creates a process where people in the community can propose a project to be considered. So those are things like focusing on some of your key spaces, like the Wharf and the Greenway and the Port of Leonardtown. Interesting, the thought we had about the Port of Leonardtown is the day we went there, they were having glass blowing classes. That's a great placemaking activity, just creative classes that people can go do. That helps, again, bring people in. So murals are always popular, and we identified a few particular opportunities for them in town. One that I think is super unique to Leonardtown is working with the fiber artists in town to work with a mural that incorporates fiber. No one's got anything like that, but that really plays to your strengths as a community. Small infrastructure, little things like crosswalks or trolley stops or information boards, just the little things you have around town that you are using anyway. Could be things that artists make. And then we heard a lot from people, from your consultants, from your staff, from you guys, that connectivity is really important. Get people down to the world, get people over to the west side, get people moving around. And so the plan outlines a couple of ideas about how you can create projects that actually go all throughout, like on trails downtown. One of which is a mini golf course, potentially, or in my town, in Philly, we have a kinetic sculpture derby. We will loan that idea to you. You can have the artists. You have a lot of people here in town and in the county who are like small-scale fabricators, do metalwork and things like that. But you could ask them to make a parade through town, and that would get people moving around. So those are some of the ideas about connected projects that are in the plan. Finally, the plan. At the beginning has what's called a public art policy. And these are really the key things that would set in motion all these other possibilities. So really this is a plan about organizing yourself to take advantage of opportunities and possibilities as they come along, to help your excellent grants team write the grants that will be necessary to fund these things. So number one is to state that public art is an important part of what makes Leonardtown successful. Number two is that to consider public art whenever you're building something. Look and see if there's an opportunity there. Number three, create a committee. It could be an outgrowth of the committee you have now, the Arts and Entertainment District Committee, that will advise this process, that will bring community input into the process, and will include both Leonardtown leadership and then arts leadership from the area. Make sure that whatever you do, it's professionally managed. You have a great staff here. So that's a great level of capacity, and there might be others on a project-by-project basis who can help you. Look to a variety of sources, including grants and partnerships and things like that, to fund it. And then, in particular, encourage and incentivize people to create public art on their own property, private property. The plan has a page about how the city can help encourage and manage murals throughout town. That was one of the main questions we were asked, so it outlines the process for doing that. So that's it. That's the kind of broad overview of the plan. Again, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Comments, questions?
Well, first I'd say it's great plans. Thank you for all the work you did. I love the murals, so it's very exciting to actually see more coming down the road. I mean, I think that's just a lot of fun. I mean, people love coming in and seeing them and taking pictures. So I'm very excited to see more of that. So I think this is great. So thank you for everything that you did.
Thank you.
No, I think it's, brings a lot of people into town, like you said, and you are the only arts and entertainment district in Southern Maryland, so appreciate it, so.
I think
works for all the businesses, not just those businesses that are in the art business.
Mm-hmm. You can do things that are really unique and related to Leonardtown that you won't be able to find in other communities in there. That will enhance that, what you just said.
But, especially with the Tudor Hall Farm, like you said, coming on, that'd be great to get people to go that way by displaying the arts in that direction. So.
What was that one type of mural that you said was going to be different that we don't have?
Encouraging a collaboration with a fiber artist, like who work with cloth and things like that. So the first time I came here was last July, before I even began working on this. And I went to the high school reunion nearby. So I'm going to learn right now, see what that's all about. And in the art gallery, the County Art Council art gallery, there were some paintings that had fiber in them. They made a painting, they laid fiber into the painting, so it was very tactile. I thought, wouldn't that be cool on a mural? You could paint the wall and then put cloth right, yeah. And I guarantee you there's very little like that out there. I mean, I worked for the mural program in Philly. We have like 2 murals like that in the whole city. So I thought, boy, that'd be really nice. And they're really beautiful paintings too, so they're really good artists doing it. So working with fabric, which people around here love to do, creating things out of fabric, would be very distinctive.
Yeah, something different. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
That's very forward thinking. Yeah, thank you. And I think a lot of what I'm seeing in here are things that we've
Yeah, you
come up
noticed
with over the
everybody's-
years
yeah.
too, you know, like, yeah, so.
I
It's like
think
you're right here with us.
the important thing about the plan is that really, which is what I think what the town administration is looking for, is a process already, right? To kind of have a reasonable, rational process through picking ideas, considering them, picking which ones are the best, and moving forward them. Because a lot
There
of
was a
times,
budget last year that like everyone wanted a different sculpture somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, we gotta get.
So we have a cohesive thing versus, yeah.
She said no.
No, I said, let's
She said,
wait
wait,
until we
yeah.
get a plan. Let's get a plan.
So is this where we go, so like I see the community initiated like public art proposals and stuff, so is that where we go from here now? Like if somebody's interested, they come to us and plan, and then we have to go through this process and see if it fits into our plan? Like what's the next step?
So the next step is kind of refining the committee that we already have, maybe making sure who's interested in still serving on the committee, but also adding some new members. As a result, I think there's been a lot of interest, and we can probably add some other people. So it's not just, you know, it's really looking at the plan, making sure that we're kind of following what we've talked about. And that, you know, we get a lot of people say, oh, I want to do a mural, or I want a mural in my building, but, you know, it takes a lot to make that happen and get the funding. And so this kind of just gives us a framework. It's not something that's etched in stone, but at the same time kind of gives some guideline. And if people want to do a mural on their own property, you know, what do they need to kind of look out for and be responsible about. So it's really, I think, bringing the group of artists and businesses that we've had in the past, the Arts and Entertainment District Management Group, and kind of revitalizing that group and adding some more members to it, and just kind of start. This lays out some different ideas for what's going to be our first project that we want to work on next, that sort of thing.
Like here I see identified like different public art and what we build, like different places in this plan. So is that what we're supposed to be kind of like focusing on? So somebody comes and says, okay, they want to do art. So we would say, all right, we're looking at Fenwick Lawn. I mean, is that like what we're supposed to be going with this?
it's a little different than that. So with things like Fenwick Lawn or say the Ice House, what the plan recommends there, as you are talking to your, you know, the people who are working on designing those projects, that you ask them, where do you see opportunities for public art in this facility? Or you might suggest opportunities for public art. So, and then look to see whether the art can be part of the overall funding package for the building. So those sorts of things will be more of a conversation with the teams that are working on the planning and design and engineering. And they're all usually very familiar with this. It's just that someone needs to say, I want you to look at this, right? When you come back, your concept plan, please include concepts for art. Tell us what it will take. So we can evaluate that possibility. For the placemaking projects, which is a different category, the idea is maybe the town would have an opportunity, 1 or 2 of those a year. I mean, and so people could propose projects, and it's actually a pretty rigorous process to propose a project because, as Michelle said, it takes a lot to do a project. And the Public Art Committee would decide which project would be the priority for the year. Will it be you know, a mini golf course? Will it be a new mural? That will be up to the committee to decide which of the many ideas. So they become sort of and they're only a recommending entity, ultimately it comes to council.
Especially if we're having matching money and such.
Yeah.
Right. So, just like
They
we've
will
done-
traffic it all.
Yeah, just like we've done, like I said, there was a pretty hefty committee, about 13 or 14 people, and all of them had some tie to art, either an artist or owned a business that was artist related. And we did the L-Town Alley, those 3 big projects, and kind of got ideas for themes, and then it was up to the artist to propose, and then we had 2 or 3 days of presentations that they came in, and then they recommended, and that's what we funded in the project. So just to have some guidelines in place so that it's not just whatever you want to do, and, you know, kind of have a plan in place, or, you know, do we want to try to get one every 2 years, or, you know, a grant or something, and, you know, you all are good about budgeting, matching money usually, anyway, and we've been very successful with it, but it's just really getting something in place, and like I said, it's not cast in stone, but it gives you a direction, just like our downtown plan or any other plans that we've done. And we're very good about using those plans to a positive end.
And of course, because the plan talks about the kind of themes that are related to Leonard Townsend's place, those become kind of bunkers, you might say. I mean, ways that you can look at a project and say, well, this is okay for Leonard Town because it was one of these themes that we're talking about. It gives you a way to kind of make sure people understand what the town is looking for and don't come to the town with proposals for things that are, you know, not kind of things you want to see.
So are we going to try to, buy-in's probably not the right word, but present this to our small businesses here in London Town and?
Yeah, and a lot of them, they were invited to the roundtables and everything, so we'll, you know, talk about this, and we're just going into the budget season, so it's very timely, and I know a couple of you recommended that we, you know, try to do another public art project, so this is a good time to think about that and what we might want to do. Did Joe want to say anything? We're very quiet.
Joe, did you have anything you wanted to?
Not really. I mean, other than this has been a real pleasure, and it's been really exciting to work on this with you guys, and I feel like I can't wait to see what's ahead.
Thank you for your hard work. So as far as adopting it, it's more really that you're, you know, giving buy-in. Like I said, it's just a guideline anyway, but it's just you've seen the presentation, and it's kind of the direction that we want to have some structure to.
And we do have a grant that's part of this, and that's why we've kind of been on a tighter time schedule to get the plan written. Because the grants, Kathy, the grant manager, needs to have the final report in order to get the grant funding to reimburse us for this project by the end of the month. So that's why. Yeah.
And they did very good keeping on schedule.
Yeah.
It was hard through the holidays, but.
Last week was particularly.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a plan that can be amended from time to time. You know, if there's things that we see or things that we want to add, you know, like she said, it's not set in stone. So it's kind of guideline and can be amended if we deem necessary in the future.
And it's just a really good example, just came to mind when we were doing the L-Town Alley, the category we selected for the storage building was something about recycling and recyclable. Well, we certainly didn't envision what we got, which was, you know, the Alice in Leonard Town, but their interpretation of recycling was, you know, there was an old boat being used as a table, and, you know, all the little hidden things. And so you just kind of put a category out there, not that you're telling them exactly what you want to do, but it starts them thinking, and they may interpret it completely different. But at least you kind of have some guidelines, and everybody submits what they think, and then it just goes through a process.
And to Michelle's point, I will say that you guys have an incredible amount of resources with the artists that live in town and the creatives that you have among you. There's just an immense quantity of talent. And so, yeah, it's a wonderful thing to kind of be able to set the framework for your artists that live there and the regional artists to kind of then bringing forth ideas that really represent the life and the qualities of the town.
Great, thank you. Any other
And it's good
comments?
community engagement. I mean, they had 50 volunteers on the one in the alley and 5 artists, so, you know, it can be, even the ones the Arts Council has done down in Lexington Park, they've had huge public days that come out and paint, so it's great community engagement as well. Love it.
All right, I move to approve the Town of Leonardtown Public Art Master Plan as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank
Just
you.
a question, what school did you go to? I mean,
Well, I went to community ed school up in Marlboro.
Right.
One of my classmates lives in Mechanicsville, that's why we have the school no longer exists.
Okay.
So we have to like have reunions at people's houses.
That's
So-
the reunion was that.
But I went to, I didn't, like, I went to the beer garden. And I was looking at the little painting of the village over there, and I recognized the name of the Bozic. I went to school with Bozic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Steve
so,
Benzic. Oh.
yeah, Joe Bozic
Joe,
was
Joe.
like 1 year older than me. So like all these little things come up. So I didn't realize that the area that my classmates came from was so large, but many came from this area. Yeah. So, and as I said, my sister moved down to Charleston. So it's nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Have a good dinner.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is the extension of the water and sewer maintenance contract through November of '27 for Holcomb Landscaping. This will be the last available renewal for this. We're a little bit late on this, so we just went ahead and took it for a little over 1.5 years to finish out the contract. He has not had any increase since 2022, whenever the contract was bid, so he is requesting a 5% increase for the remainder of the contract, which is pretty much in line with what we've been doing for our contract.
To my knowledge, they've been reliable, right?
No issues. And we them being out there the other night.
This past week, right?
Yeah, for 30 hours in the freezing cold.
For the break.
Yeah.
Never that it's convenient, though.
Never. Usually a Friday
Or warm.
Right.
Yeah.
holiday. Yeah,
Yeah.
not a pleasant job.
I move to approve the water and sewer maintenance contract with Holcomb Landscaping through November 30th, 2027, with a cost of living increase of 5%.
Second.
Okay, motion second, further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Okay. The next one is similar, it's the striping contract for J&D Traffic Solutions. In March of '24, they were awarded the contract for a 2-year period, and they have 3 one-year extensions. So this would be the second extension. They've done a great job. They're very responsive. They make the sign, our street signs, road signs, do all of our striping, come and install the signs. They do a really nice job for us.
All right, well, I move to approve a 1-year extension to the striping contract with J&D Traffic Solutions Incorporated. The term will be from March 11th, 2026 through March 11th, 2027, with the presented rate increase of 5% to all unit costs.
I'll second.
Motion and second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none on this, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much.
I did mention when I was reading about in the report, it shows that over the past 2 years, they've had a 10 to 15% increase. So
I was
the
going to talk to you about that after I circled that. That's significant.
Yeah, so just something to try to keep on.
Yeah, materials.
Yeah. Okay, next, it's a little confusing, but it's, I don't know, I know Heather, Christy has heard of PFAS.
Oh, yes, yes, I do.
A year or so ago, George Erickson with Metcom had contacted me. Metcom had signed a similar legal agreement, and well, he wanted to know if we were interested, and I met with the attorneys about it. So then whenever I talked to our attorney, Patrick from McLeod, he said, well, he's been dealing with other towns and he's very familiar with this other group, and it didn't really matter to me who we used, but he suggested we meet with them as well, so we did. So basically, this aqueous film forming foam, nationally there's a lot of litigation because it's a type of firefighting foam that was historically used nationwide, and in some areas across the country there's very large lawsuits now because it got into the water system, and we are required, we've already started doing testing from MDE every year. I think a couple times a year we have to test for it already, and we haven't had anything come back that we've had a problem, but there can be areas. And so what this does is protects you. It's a legal services agreement with the law firms of Barron & Budd, Cossage, Sumich, Parasola, and Taylor, and then our lawyer group, McLeod Law Group, to represent the town if we ever get into national litigation involving the contamination from this PFAS. So we don't pay anything, it doesn't cost us anything. Again, the county's already done it a few months ago, but it protects us down the road if we do run into a litigation situation. And that's where they would collect their funding if they want any money for us from that. They would get, the contract is 25% of the contingent award.
How long is this agreement for? Is it until we cancel it? Or?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's pretty much a standard agreement that all the jurisdictions are using, and they just kind of changed the name of the company pretty much. I kind of looked at both of them, and they had Patrick review it.
So Shelley, you said that we already have to test for this in our waters. Is that an extra charge?
Yes, I mean, every year they add additional tests. This last year was very expensive with additional tests.
Really?
Yeah. Wow, very. Not just for this, but for other tests as well. For this wastewater treatment and the sewer plant.
Yeah.
Additional testing.
But this one here is once a year. Right. Is that what you're saying?
I think this one's twice a year, but I'm not sure. But the testing has to be done whether we sign this or not.
Yeah,
It's
right. Yeah. I was just curious what the cost for us.
This is just going to protect us if the testing comes back that there is a problem and we ended up getting into litigation because of it.
How much did you say we get?
The attorneys don't get any money unless there is a litigation, they get money, and then they get 25% of it.
Because in the contract it says 55%. At 55, it says Cossage, Summit, and Parasola will receive 29, and McLeod will receive 15%.
Well, of the 25%.
Per year, yeah.
Number 2 of 9, it says 20, it does say 25, so that must be their breakdown, maybe.
Yeah, they divide up their funds. They continue to do testing on their own as well, just to independently. Yes.
Any other comments, questions?
I mean, again, Patrick has said he's done these agreements all over the state, and it really doesn't cost anything, it's just a matter of protecting yourself in the future if something comes up. It's evidently a big problem in some areas.
And Patrick, our attorney, is suggesting that we...
Yes, and he's on part of the agreement as well.
Motion?
I'll make a motion. I move to approve the legal services agreement with Barron & Budd, PC, Cossack, Sumic, Parciola, and Taylor LLC, and McLeod Law Group LLC for legal representation related to PFAS contamination associated with aqueous film-forming foam, AFFF, and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the town.
second. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Jennifer?
Good afternoon. I just had a few things to add to my report. We're excited to welcome Ashley Durbin, Camden Burrows, Erica Booth Green as the owners for the Vintage Collective opening in the Kenny's Flowers. Yeah, it's super exciting. So it's a retail store. The grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony will be March 6th, and I will let you know once I confirm the time. And Domishi Ramen Bar is opening this week in the SIP location. I don't have the exact date yet, but they're opening this week.
We have a lot of friends that are very excited
So
about that.
excited.
I just tried it for the first time.
It's a perfect time.
Yeah.
And Needing is hoping to relocate to the Flower Building in April. And please let me know if you have any questions on my report.
Few things going on.
Yeah, a lot of exciting
The
things.
last thing I wanted to say was just a big thank you to Bay Country and Daniel Good and Tony. He worked a lot of hours through the night. And Bill Wood then came in last week and did a lot of the sidewalks that had gotten iced over. And he did all the way out to Birdie's and he donated that. So just a big thank you to all of them. They did a really good job.
Wow.
That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Moving on to my report. Christie with LBA, I see she's back here.
Yes, I do have an update. Before I give that, I just did want to give some feedback John wanted me to pass along to you guys. The people that did the snow removal, from what we saw over where we are, it was excellent. Those guys were running all night. They were communicating with John, checking to make sure the sidewalks are okay. Like, it was such a nice collaboration because John was out there by himself because our staff doesn't come in. So it was wonderful. So just some feedback that whoever's doing it, it's the right company, or we felt it was because we got a big piece of real estate there. So I mean, it was nice. Anyway, on to the LBA.
We've seen take place in other towns and areas. No, they did a great job.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, especially like the recent, yeah.
Yeah, when we went up the road, we had an appointment, and other towns are just, the snow wasn't removed. And then when we got on the highway, it was amazing, the snow removal down here in southern Maryland, because when you got on the highway and went up to PG in Montgomery County, the roads would just end. Like, you would be in a lane and it would just end. The snow.
I know, it's dull.
It was scary.
Yeah.
It was
In the
very,
mornings, it's a little
so it was very nice to see how it was handled here. On to the LBA report. Jen typed me out a very long email that I'm just going to read to you guys. The LBA is busy planning out 2026. We kicked it off with the Love in Leonardtown Wedding Expo yesterday. Despite the frigid temperatures, we had over 125 brides-to-be in attendance, along with their fiancés, moms, and friends. So it is estimated that over 300 were in attendance. There was a buzz of excitement at each host location. The planning committee will be doing an event recap meeting as well as getting feedback from the vendors. This is typically a slower time of year for the town events, so the LBA is excited that this could turn into an annual event and showcase all that Leonardtown has to offer for couples. We hope to have our full event calendar in place by March for the year, as well as the First Friday themes being published. In other news, the LBA has started a monthly feature at our meetings, Meet the Member. Members can sign up for a 10-minute spot at one of the monthly meetings where they get a chance to talk a little more about themselves, their business, and how they can work with other businesses in the town. The LBA is also working on sending out monthly press releases to the news organizations regarding First Friday, business news, and more. We are trying to give the news organizations official information versus what they are reading from hearsay on social media. The February First Friday press release was picked up by Southern Maryland Newsnet, Southern Maryland News, The Enterprise, and the Southern Maryland Chronicle, as well as published in the County Times. Thank you all for your continued support, and we're looking forward to 2026.
Thank you. The other thing I wanted to kind of mention is congratulations, Heather.
Oh, yay.
You completed all requirements to receive the Academy for Excellence in Local Governance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Appreciate everything. Okay, moving on to council reports. Heather, events.
Me. Mull Dyer is just around the corner. I love that weekend. So lots of activities planned, and I see Lilo and Stitch is gonna be shown, so I'm sure my daughter will walk over here just for that. But no, lots of fun things to look forward to that weekend, February 20th through 22nd. Good job on the wedding expo. All the stuff I saw over the week, like yesterday, last night, just kind of the recap and all the people and the vendors. That's a really good event. I hope you guys are able to do that again. So I know that took a heavy lift and a lot of planning, so good job, right?
Jen worked hard on that.
Yeah, and that's another thing I really just wanted to say is the LBA and how well you all are doing. And just I feel like the engagement has just really increased and continues to increase with all of these extra things that you guys are doing, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you for doing that. So, and I'm looking forward to that calendar next month.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me know when you need volunteers.
It'll be exciting year.
This calendar here.
No, I guess they've got some other things coming our way too.
Yeah,
I don't know. So, okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Nick, community development and planning.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Mike, as always, thank you for these reports. Not as much, but still some permits in UNO, so that's always a good thing to see. And then I was able to attend the ribbon cutting for Smash House, so congratulations to them. Burgers are delicious. They've got some great food. They did a really nice job in there for all the work. So that looks fantastic. And then just want to talk about, just for a few minutes, I did a survey, and I want to say thank you to everybody who participated and took it. Certainly hope everybody in here had a chance to. Had a total of 1,008 responses, so it was very good. I was hoping to get 700-800, so definitely beat my goal, which was fantastic. And I wanted to highlight a couple of different questions, so I was able to filter it and look at town residents. Now, obviously, that's going to include individuals who live in the city limits, but also people who might live just outside on the outskirts of town. But one of the questions, I said, do you like living in Leonardtown? The overwhelming majority said yes. Do you feel that Leonardtown is on the right track? Strong majority said yes. So it's very much a testament to us, to the work that we've done. Tells us that obviously we're doing a good job, we're on the right track. One thing I wanted to say is, I asked a question, I said, what is the favorite part of Leonardtown? What do you love the most? Number one answer was downtown walkability. But then a lot of people in a very close second said events and activities, and it's not just a shout out for town, but Christy, to you and Jen and the LBA, thank you all for what you do. Because you all put on so many different events, obviously people love it. And you all come up with new events every year, so thank you all for the work that you're doing. Please continue that, because I'm very much appreciative. And then, like any survey, I like to think of this as a progress report. What are we doing right and what are we doing wrong? There's always room for improvement, and I asked the question, I said, what is the biggest challenge that Leonardtown faces? And the number one answer, which was actually surprising me, was parking. It's not what I expected. I knew that that was an issue. We all know it is. But it was the number one issue. And a lot of people realize that, you know, it's not something that could be fixed overnight. It's going to be a very expensive project to work on. But it's great for us to hear that, or at least for me, I want to know what our constituents, what do our residents feel. At the end of the day, we're working for you, so I want to hear your ideas, and I want to see, you know, what you think. But they also talked about the second and third place was maintain the rural character of Leonardtown area, and then also looking at growth and development. So there's definitely some challenges, but overall I would say that this was a great survey. It was a great response, great community engagement. So thank you all again for responding. And I had some people reach out and said, you know, we missed it, but we hope you'll do it again. So I might have to do another one, but thank you all very much, and great to hear from everybody. So thank you. That's it for me, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. And Christy, utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just wanted to reiterate what Michelle said. I'm thanking the crews and all the staff that helped out with that water repair. When the cold temps hit, things start moving around, and unfortunately not in a good manner. And we appreciate all that work. It's not fun and it's not rewarding at all, but it needs to be done, so we appreciate that. And then with the cold temps, just want to remind everybody to check faucets and outdoor things. pipes burst and all that kind of stuff when things start thawing. So keep an eye, make sure your meter's not running when it shouldn't be. And then when you think about that, I also think about the other side. Don't flush things that shouldn't be flushed. As a sourdough person, don't put your sourdough starter or anything down the pipes. It does clog everything. So, so just try to be kind to our pipes. That's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jay, Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
All right, thank you. So I apologize, I'm going to be doing some echoing and some comments here, so I'm sorry. But I did attend the Learntown Volunteer Rescue Squad banquet, so congratulations to all the outgoing and ingoing officers. I also attended the Smash House ribbon cutting, that was well attended, and looking forward to them in their new location. They did a great job. I did attend the wedding expo. I mean, I realized I'm married to Katie. I am married, but Katie's brother's getting married, so we tagged along, and it was. I was very impressed. It was well attended. It really was. So we went to all locations: the Felmckin, the Inn Hotel, and the bridal shop. So they had a good crowd. So I was very impressed. I also had on here Streets and Roads to thank Tony and to thank Bay Country, Daniel Good. They did a great job. Our Leonardtown streets were they were top notch. I was very impressed. And Heather, I had on here to congratulate you as well. So
thank you, Brent.
thank you for doing that. I think that's a great accomplishment. And I know those core and elected classes are not the easiest to line up when you go to the conferences.
Yeah, no,
So
thank you.
very well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And Meredith, Business Development and Retention.
I want to congratulate Smash House for opening up and having the ribbon cutting. And I also want to remind people that the snow has put a damper on small businesses. So I had a barber shop in today and he was like, look, business is down. I mean, when it's cold, people are going to go home. They're not going to go and out and do their thing. So just, you know, think of your small business when you're out. Wanted to remind everybody that last year, if you remember, the St. Mary's County Commissioners raised the income tax rate, and this is the first time we're seeing it now on people's taxes. So a lot of people's taxes are going up on their county rate. I am seeing that. Also want to remind everybody in 2026 that charitable contributions are going to be above the line deduction for some people. So for those people that have not been doing charitable contributions or not been saving their receipts, now would be a good time to do it because you will get the benefit in 2026. So I like to remind people at the beginning of the year before the end because it's already done. And my last reminder, I know I've said this before, but it seems the word has not gotten out. Social Security is not tax-free. I know that has come out many times, but I still have people coming in going, oh, my Social Security is tax-free this year. No, that is not how the law is written. So just remember that Social Security is not tax-free necessarily. That's what I have. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I think that's the end, and unless anybody else has anything, entertain motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Christy and I will fight over it and try to run like whoever you decide. But you're
Nope, I got nothing to say for her. Somebody else's thing.
Yeah, oh, okay.